No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
Donald Trump has won the presidency of the United States today, and it is good that we review some of the things he promised if he wins, and how this affects the religious part, the church. We know that on the other side was Kamala Harris, his greatest opponent. We show you a video where she practically mocked Christianity.
You know, we have to stay woke. Like, everybody needs to be woke. And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke. Yeah.
We also know that he supports various ideologies. On the other hand, Donald Trump promised things that no other candidate promised, things that contribute to Christianity, such as reading the Bible or not imposing ideologies on children in schools.
The left-wing gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse. Very simple. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers, which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parents' consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
So don't leave this video. Stay until the end. Give us a like and share it with more people. The following words are from the God Science source, and I think it's great to base this video on his words. Trump has won, and with him the promise that the days of imposition and censorship by big tech where our voices are silenced and our freedoms of expression are trampled, must end.
I just struggle to think how reading something from a Bible can be interpreted as a hate crime.
You've got the Bible there,
Yes.
with the exact passage in it.
Yes.
Can you just read us? It's not too long, is
No,
it? Just read us
one
that
verse.
passage again.
One verse, the book of John, chapter 3, verse 16. The Bible says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life." I don't see that as a hate crime.
No.
I see it as a message of love to whoever believes will not perish, but have everlasting life. It's a beautiful message.
What we do in the midst of this sin-sick age that has rejected the gospel and perverted the gospel and replaced the gospel with that which is not the gospel is that we call out that wickedness. We call it by name, and we remind people of the good news of the gospel again and again and again until it tastes sweet to them.
A figure who is far from representing a testimony of morality and integrity, but who is one of the few candidates who has faced these technological giants head-on and has promised to return power to the people. The other who has done a miraculous job is in the South, Nayib Bukele. Science has been manipulated to justify ideologies that go against family values and the integrity of our children. Since when does science become a tool to promote the mutilation and destruction of the family? Here are 4 key aspects of his victory. 1. Freedom of expression. Trump has promised to reform the laws so that technology platforms cannot censor at will. We need a digital space where all voices can be heard, not just those that fit a political agenda. Elon Musk, seeing Trump's victory, posted this. 2. Against anti-scientific ideology. Science must be free of political agendas. Trump proposes a return to scientific integrity, where debate and evidence guide our policies, not ideologies. 3. Against anti-scientific ideology. Science must be free of political agendas. Trump proposes a return to scientific integrity, where debate and evidence guide our policies, not ideologies. 4. For the safety and future of our children. Promoting practices that mutilate and confuse our young people is unacceptable. Your government will fight to protect our children from these harmful practices. Let's hope this is the beginning of a revolutionary front against the global agenda that seeks to control, manipulate, and destroy the family. If you like this video, please support us by liking it, subscribing, and activating the bell.